Fresh and Fit Moneyclips. Don't miss out on this electrifying conversation. Join Myron, Fresh, and special guest Candace Owens as they tackle controversial topics on the Fresh and Fit Podcast Monday show. Hit subscribe now and catch the YouTube short pod for quick insights courtesy of Moneyclips. And for the full discussion, head over to Rumble. Subscribe and stay engaged with Myron, Fresh, and Candace Owens only on the Fresh and Fit Podcast.
And all this other stuff, and it wasn't also because I grew up fairly liberal myself. It wasn't until like I graduated from college that I started to like see like what the hell, this is BS. Like it's being conservative is not as bad as they try to paint it as.
Right.
When did you kind of like, for me it was after I graduated from college that I noticed this.
Exact
but for
same.
you, when was it?
Exact same. I think like because once you're in the real world, you realize that a loser mentality will yield loser results. And if you're a person that's hungry and you want to be successful, it's not going to serve you to go around thinking that the world is out to get you, right? You want to be a part of the world. You want to be the purveyor of your own destiny. And so it just didn't work for me. I wanted to be successful. I didn't consider myself to be a victim. But my big aha moment was definitely, because I wasn't paying attention to politics, but was when Trump came down the escalator. I hadn't even voted, I was that much abstained from politics. But then because I grew up listening to hip hop, watching them go from like everybody loves Trump, hip hop world, everybody, he's this icon of status, and Jay-Z and Beyonce are sipping poolside at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, if you're listening to music, it's like Trump's fine. And then just like that, a drop of a hat, they were like, no, actually he's racist. He's like wants to own slaves. I was like, what? He definitely hates all black people. He wants you back in chains. I was like, The narrative flip was too aggressive for me not to kind of pop up and be like, what's actually behind this? And then I made a couple of YouTube videos talking about that, and they went viral, and people were essentially calling me a coon, Uncle Tom, just for daring to think outside of the matrix. And I'm very stubborn. So if you're going to tell me that I can't be myself, that's my number one thing. I listened to way too much Kanye music growing up. So as soon as you're going to tell me that I can't be myself, I'm going to be the biggest myself that you've ever seen. I'm going to make you hate how much of myself I am. And I think I've done a very good job of doing just that. There are a lot of people that hate me for daring to be myself,
Oh, yeah.
Are brand new. And speaking about Ask Smart Advantages, we're actually giving away an Ask Smart Advantage right now.
Yes, we are actually. So, funny story. I met these guys a couple months ago. I seen their business model. I seen how they operate. Very honest guys with integrity. And I was like, yo, bro, how do we get back to people that support us? Fresh and Fit, Mercy Luxury. And we decided to do a giveaway of one of our cars. So there's a clip actually we could play if you don't mind, Bills, on the page whenever you're ready. Okay, it's the reel. Yeah, the reel, yeah.
Guys, it's your boy Fresh from FreshandFitPodcast. Today we're giving away an Ask the Mark back. That is right. You get a free car, trip to Miami, and take in your car. Who can beat that? It's pretty simple. $2 per enter. That's it. Click the link in the bio. See you guys in there.
You've definitely done some things that take a lot of courage. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But you started also something called Blexi. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because again, coming from Connecticut, it's a blue state, right? And everyone that's colored there, minority, they vote Democrat. They say fuck the rich people. Because people think that, all of Connecticut is rich. No, that's concentrated in just a few towns on the shore, guys. Connecticut, actually, if you look at most people that are blue-collar workers, are not as rich as you think they are. You're thinking of Greenwich, Clinton, these towns right on the, on the water. What kind of stimulated you to create Blexit, and what was the ideology behind it?
So I think what happened was I started falling down the rabbit hole, and what I mean is, at first, I would have never gone to like foxnews.com. Like, that was like the worst possible thing you could do as a black person. And then when I saw them lying about something, I watched a Trump speech live. It was in Dimondale, Michigan, where he made his pitch to black America. And he just started listing statistics and was like, you've given your vote for 60 years to Democrats. Why not just do something else? And I was like, that's not a bad pitch. Like, I'm not for this dude, but like, fair. And then I watched the media that I trusted interpret what he was saying, and they were like, he looked black Americans in the face, Don Lemon close to tears, the whole bit, and told them they have nothing and they're poor, and we haven't heard this sort of racist rhetoric since. And I was like, whoa. It really made me go, okay, what's actually up? And so I have to be honest, because I make it sound like it's so easy, but when you wake up one day and you realize that everything that you thought, that you have been propagandized in the school system, you've been told that this is true forever, that you're justified in every feeling that you ever had, and one day you realize that the exact opposite is true, because that's pretty much how it happened. I basically just went flip. you do go through a period of cognitive dissonance. Like, you actually start to wonder if you're crazy. Like, oh my, how could this possibly, like, what do you mean the Democrats aren't here to rescue? What do you mean those racist Republicans could actually be trying to help? Like, that's a lot to go through emotionally. And it's going to immediately impact your relationships, right? Because you're coming from, all your friendships have this viewpoint, your family members have this viewpoint. So to go through this period of cognitive dissonance, you have to first think you're crazy. Then I just wanted to read, and I picked up the coons. Like, I was like, well, those people that I thought were coons, what were they saying, right? And I started reading Thomas Sowell, and he was a good first
Great
step.
Work
He was a good first step in terms of educating myself, because he's not overtly political, and he just made the economic arguments. And I read this book, and I was like, wait, I think I've been a conservative my whole life. I just didn't know it. I agree with everything that he's saying. This is what makes sense. I just want opportunity. I want to be able to climb a ladder. And so I went through a year and a half of just reading to make sure that I understood what I felt was true. And then I was angry, right? Because then I realized how sinister, how evil, how manipulative, how Machiavellian. I mean, really, the public school system for Black Americans is just a pipeline to the prison system.
What about free speech? Is there really free speech nowadays? What do you think?
No, I mean, obviously not. It's even speech. The consequences that people suffer. So they've kind of gotten around speech. And if they don't like what you're saying, or if they want to control or manipulate what you're saying, they will smear you and libel you. And so people then will not say something, even if they know it's true, or even if it's how they actually feel, because there is this consequence. But yeah, so it's speech with consequences. And they go, oh, you still have free speech, but we're going to run this whole arm of people that are going to assassinate your character if you don't say the right things. And I'm not with that at all.
You said that the public school system
pipeline to prison.
Pipelines black people black children to prison. What component of the public school system do you think is the most damaging that leads to that?
So this is really important, and I'm glad you asked me this question. So currently right now in America, 40% of students can't pass a basic literacy exam. Within inner city communities, that's 70%.
That's true, because the CAPT exam, I don't know if did you take that when you were in Connecticut?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah.
Half my class failed it.
Okay. So they can't pass a basic literacy exam.
Yeah.
So they created the public education system for that very reason, to slowly dumb people down, right? And the reason why you want to dumb people down, the reason why you want to reverse education, it's actually the Department of Non-Education, is because educated minds can be enslaved. It's the reason why we had slave codes. It's the reason why they were not allowed legally to teach black people how to read when they were slaves, right? And that was such a severe law that if you were a white person in America and you were caught teaching a slave how to read, they punished you too, right? And so the design of how to enslave people, how it works, how you can do that, has already existed. Now they're just modernizing it, right? And so they're giving you a fake education. Actually, what they're doing is they're emotionally engineering you, which is why we talk about, like, oh, believing in you're a victim, all this stuff. Because then whenever they want to press a button and get you to go after somebody, white man, rich man, you'll do it, because you're not educated about why you're in that circumstance. You don't understand how economics works, right?
Divisive.
Yeah, you don't understand how economics works. All you understand is you have no money and he has money, right? And so when they say, oh, go out and do our bidding and scream, you don't even know who is controlling your plantation. You don't even understand who the plantation supervisor is. You're just warring. You're a bunch of slaves that are warring. And the other reason is to slowly erase history. It is stunning to me how little we know about history, how little Americans know, how little Christians know about their history. I mean, once you become awake to everything, you realize that actually what's happening is just holy wars. Holy wars. Everything actually really does trace right back to religion, and the battle for earth. But that is another reason, is because then they can edit history or no history. You're living in ever present. You're just in an ever present. You have no idea what's happened and how you got here. Black Americans thinking LBJ is a hero, vowedly racist man.
Hey, you and Kanye are good friends. You guys went viral with the White Lives Matter shirts, which, it amazes me how that caused so much controversy, because it's like, wait, is there an issue with saying White Lives Matter too?
That was the point.
Like, what the hell? And the fact that you guys went viral for that
sounds wrong.
Is crazy to me. But again, we live in a wild world where no one's life matters unless you're black, apparently.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about how that came? Well, how you guys became friends, and then how that came about with the t-shirts?
So I'm a person. I believe in frequencies. I think that things happen in your life, and it's whatever you're channeling. So just a funny backstory. I grew up listening to Kanye's music, and leading up to Kanye tweeting me, I was listening every day to why can I never remember the name of a freaking song? You know, the one
Which album?
Which album?
I can never remember the name of a song. It's a freaking one that he FSNL and the whole cast. Tell him Yeezy said you can kiss my whole. More specifically, my asshole. I'm an asshole. You know what I'm talking about. It was after he did the Taylor thing, and they were like, "You're canceled," and he just came back with a fire song. My
They're
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy Twisted Fantasy is but what's the song called? It's gonna drive me crazy. Power. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, literally Power.
Okay.
That song, forget it. That is that's my anthem, honestly. Anyway, so I was every day just listening to this song, like running on a treadmill, like running like 5 miles a day, just like getting on my like F what the world thinks, because that's what that song does to you. It's like, forget what everybody is saying. You be you and don't apologize for being you. And I was explaining this at the time I was working with Charlie Kirk, and he didn't even know who Kanye was. It was crazy. I can't believe he even asked me that question. And I'm playing this music for him. So Charlie starts listening to Kanye's song, and I started talking about Kanye when I met Nigel Farage and somebody that worked with him named Dan. And I just remember sitting there and at my house after all of this, the months leading up to this, and Dan sends me a screenshot, and it's like Kanye's account, and it's like, I love the way Kanye thinks. And I thought, is this like British humor? Are you being funny? Because I just said to you like how much I love Kanye and like how I listen to a song every day and da-da-da. And I was like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
And then I like go and check, and he just tweeted, I love the way Kanye thinks. Wild. It was just crazy. It was just, the energy of that was insane leading up to the moment. And I was so excited because his music got me through a lot in life, and his music inspired me to take a chance on myself. The song Power directly inspired me to take a chance on myself. And so we met up in LA. I then tweeted back like, let's meet up, super like, like, well, actually I think I actually literally cried.
Wow.
It was just, think about that. Every morning you're listening to this song. You have no idea. He's not involved in politics at all. It inspires you to get in politics. And this person just tweets.
He was more low key with it back then.
It was wild. And then, so we met up and we became friends, and that's that. And then the White Lives Matter stuff, it totally was his idea. You never know what Kanye's cooking up. I call it a Kanye carpet ride. You just, when you're with him, you don't know what he's thinking, how it's like mad scientist.